Those of yours here, let them listen. So I want to talk about loss and having difficult times in life because this is what I've learned through going through mine and still in the process of going through mine. First off, I want to say I'm really sorry. It sucks. Going through the valleys in your life is a lot worse than going through peaks, and that's pretty obvious, but I mean, it's the truth, okay? But the first thing right off the bat that you need to know is when you're going through a hard time in life, is Jesus is calling you into a true relationship or a new relationship, stronger relationship, and renewing your covenant or making it stronger, okay? This time can, if you let it, make you stronger, or it can break you if you let it. It's up to you, honestly. But what it's doing and the reason why it's happening, because oftentimes there's like no real explanation, or you're beating yourself up, but you can't, if it's your fault, you can't see it as failure, even if it is, you just can't, because then that'll get you stuck. And the more mental strain you put on yourself and the more responsibilities you take onto yourself, the more the devil is going to keep you in a mental trap, and then you're just not going to be able to grow. You're not going to be able to learn. Okay, don't see it as failure, see it as a learning experience and be able to grow from it. Okay, and if it's not your fault and it's just something bad is going on in your life, that's also really hard, because you feel like nothing's going, like you can't really do anything, and you're like, why is God letting this happen? And I just told you, he's wanting to grow you closer to him. Or it's the enemy, it's an attack from the enemy because you are getting closer. And so God just wants you to get even closer, because through getting closer to God, if it's like a family member's getting sick or something like that, that's very hard. Loss is not fun to deal with. So hear this is important. In John chapter 15, verses 1 and 2, Jesus calls himself, or he says, I'm the vine, and my Father is the vine pruner. And we all know that the Father is just Jesus, because Jesus is God, and that's him up in heaven and all that. But when you're following the way, him, Jesus, the narrow road, that's Jesus, the way of Jesus, okay? And so that path is the vine, okay? And then you in turn become your own tree, kind of, if you know what I mean. All right, and that's how you have fruits of the Spirit, and that's why Jesus cursed the fig tree in Matthew, because it represented the Pharisees, or people who look righteous on the outside but don't actually bear any fruit. Okay, people who go to church and they act like they have fruit, but they don't truly live in the fruits of the Spirit. If you have branches that don't bear fruit, Jesus is just snipping those off, and he's trying to perfect you. But the good thing about that is that leaves room for new fruit and new branches to come in. Okay, and it takes time. Plants don't grow overnight. Well, they do grow overnight, but they don't grow big overnight. If you know what I mean. And a new path, a new opportunity is growing out off of it. You just have to see it and know what God's wanting you to do in that time with it. And most of the time, it's resting in him and letting him take care of it while you work, and while you put in the work to get more close to God. Or it's a new adventure, it's a new path, and it's a new door to go down. Okay, but if you're a new believer, and you're wondering what's going on, Christianity is not about a set of rules. Yes, there's a lot of rules in the Bible, and yes, Christians like to make a lot of rules, but in order to start a relationship with Jesus, or even to get to heaven, you don't need to be without sin. That's what Jesus died on the cross for, okay? He allowed you to get there. What's the most important is that you have a relationship with Jesus, because this Bible, it has the keys to life in it, okay? It has the keys to enjoying your life. It's not going to tell you how to become a millionaire. It's not going to tell you how to find a wife necessarily, even though it does give financial and like dating advice in it. It's not going to do the things for you, okay? But it tells you how to renew your mind. And this is the sword to cut through everything wrong in this life. But that being said, with living in habitual sin or living in some sort of thing that is against God, the lengths that he will take you is not as far as somebody who's living righteously, right? Because think about this, Enoch and Elijah they were both taken up into heaven without having to die. because they were so faithful and because they walked so closely to God. But in the meantime, while you're hurting and while you're getting close to Jesus, make sure that you're praising God like he's already taken you through it. Because he knows the end of your story. He's omnipresent, and he created time, so he's not held back by that. He knows all the different aspects of, like, I don't know if you'll get this reference, but like the Loki show with the timelines in the multiverse and all that, he's like outside of that, all right? And so he knows the separate paths that you'll take and where it will take you and all that. And he knows the perfect will. He has a perfect will for you, and he wants you to be aligned with that. And so just praise him like he's already done it, and then it will become ever more apparent what he wants you to do as you do it, as you wait and get closer to God. And the valley will soon turn to a meadow of just peace and knowing that he's got you.